Hi, Nabbona. Thank you for your next batch of essays. Now let's have a look at the essay about shops and extended business hours. Experts throughout both the developing and developed world have debated whether or not increasing operating hours in stores is beneficial to society. Okay. Some believe it has more drawbacks than benefits. And I would say, yet, I personally strongly disagree. This essay will discuss the reasons as to why I hold on to this view, with examples from the UK government and Harvard University to demonstrate points and prove arguments. Yes, great, absolutely great introduction, great use of the C2 template. Way to go. Yeah, just mind this yet, because, this cohesive device contrast is really important here, and it shows the transition towards the disagreement, right? I really like the way you say as to the reasons as to why. So this is a nice complex structure. To begin with, there is ample evidence that the longer departmental store stays open daily for operations, the more employees it will need. Okay. The thing is that this is a nice sentence, but this part is very cumbersome. The longer a departmental store stays open daily for operations. Let's try to lighten the load. There's ample evidence that if a department store stays open, is open daily, operates and stays open daily. I'm trying to lighten the load, and I see that I cannot do that. Okay, let's suggest department store. Okay, not departmental, department. Okay, the central reason behind this is that more vacant positions become available to cover the extended shifts. Okay. For example, extensive research from the UK government demonstrated that 90% of previously unemployed youth were able to find vacancies within malls offering 24-hour service. It must also be taken into account that these stores also made a significant contribution to lowering the number of jobless people, according to the study. Okay, very nice. Therefore, it is clear that extending office hours in retail outlets is beneficial to both governments and individuals. Okay, very nice. I won't say governments as such, perhaps the state economy and individuals. No, not government directly. But yes, this is a great paragraph, almost flawlessly coherent, very clear, very complex in terms of vocabulary and grammar, make great use of topical vocabulary, absolutely great. Furthermore, the trend of shops working more hours daily is advantageous to people who work odd hours, like up to 10 p.m. Okay. Very nice. You know what I like in your style is that you keep varying the keywords. I mean, extended business hours. You find a way to say that in other words almost perfectly. This is impressive. The central reason behind this is that more vacant. Oh, wait a second. I'm looking at the wrong paragraph. To illustrate space here. To illustrate, empirical research from Harvard University found that about 3 in 4 people shopping after 10 p.m. were indeed those working the evening shifts. Okay, yes, those who work late, shop late. Okay. The study participants also cited that whereas those were unusual hours to buy groceries, it was more convenient because of their occupations. Okay. Besides, they preferred this shopping time as there were fewer purchasers. Okay, I would say clients than purchasers. Purchasers here seems excessive a bit, or just buyers, as opposed to peak hours like 5 p.m. Certainly. Consequently, it can be stated beyond doubt that this trend is satisfactory for individuals working outside the traditional 9 to 5. I would say 9 to 5 jobs. Yes, that is going to be much, much better. Great paragraph. To recapitulate, from the arguments and explanations given, I would say based On the arguments and explanations given, I believe that longer hours of operation in shops are advantageous to people and society by providing job opportunities and introducing flexible shopping hours. It is predicted, okay, once again, I think I mentioned this before, but I'm going to mention this again. If you say it is predicted, you need to have very good backing for this prediction, and you don't quite have it just like this in the essay. If you use a more hedging, a more hypothetical modal formulation, like it could be predicted, then you can predict almost anything, right? Because you are tentative, you're hypothetical. But if all stores introduced more opening hours in their schedules, I would say not more, I would say longer. There would be fewer jobless youth in the next decade. Yes, absolutely. So this is an essay that is very close to perfection. Just mind the minor things that I have corrected. I'm still kind of thinking about this sentence that sounds cumbersome, yet I am struggling to rephrase it, and I can't really rephrase it. If you find a way to say the same in another way, please let me know, because I'm really curious. Okay, now let's have a look at the line chart. The line chart illustrates the amount of rainfall received in 3 countries in the United Kingdom during 2018. Overall, England received the most amount of rainfall. I think we have repeats. Look at this. Rainfall received rainfall, right? You're really great at avoiding repetition. So perhaps we could try replacing these words by their synonyms or by synonymous expressions. Throughout the year, although similar to all countries, it experienced fluctuations. Very nice word. Whereas Scotland received more rain than England at the beginning of the period, the latter outraced it significantly in December. Okay, outraced. I would say outdid it too. People in Wales received less rain in both January and December compared to the other 2 countries. It was raining heavily simultaneously in all 3 countries in July. Great highlights. But I feel that we don't have enough linking words. Perhaps you could say something like further, or I don't know, I don't even know. Further on, something like that. Okay. In Scotland, rain stood at just over 120 milliliters and fell steadily to hit the lowest point of about 120 in February, before rising steeply to reach a peak of about 130 in March. Okay. I'm not sure I get this. Something's missing, either a comma or a conjunction. Rain stood at just over, okay, yes. And fell steadily to hit the lowest point of it in February. I would say just before rising steeply to reach a peak of this in March. Okay, this comma was missing, yes. You see how a comma can create a feeling, where am I, in a longer sentence. Between March and April, the Scottish experienced a steady decline in rain, I would say in rain quantity, which then rose and fluctuated for the next 7 months before ending the year at just over 100, and I would say units, right? Okay, oh, it's longer. Regarding England, the rain stood at about 110 in January, then fluctuated for the next 4 months before reaching the lowest peak. I would say the lowest point, because they used peak before, of about 70 in June. There were fluctuations from July to November. Thereafter, a gradual rise, I would say, and then, because thereafter is too formal for a text like this. And then a gradual rise to about in December, I would say, was registered. You haven't used that was registered, have you? Very nice. In January, rain in Wales, not in the Wales, in Wales started just below, I would say, rain quantity. Started just below this, rising steadily to reach this much in February. Oh, beg your pardon. Used reach to reach a dip of about 20. When? I would say when. There were fluctuations in the next 4 months to reach the highest. You have reach and reach synonyms. The highest peak in July. And linking word. August experienced a steady decline, which remained constant for the next 3 months for the following. Not next, following. Oh, beg your pardon. Following. 3 months before rising steadily to approximately this and completing the year at just over 50. I have a feeling we have too many details and too many words. Let's have a look at the word of the. Okay, we have 264 words. This is way too much for task 1. Try to keep to the indicated word limit, because if you don't, you're going to be penalized. I know that you can write more and you're writing beautifully, but one of the skills is to be able to summarize information, even though there is a lot of information. So this needs to be seriously reduced. You see, you have too much detail. The task says well, you know what they say usually, make comparisons where necessary and outline the most important features. And yes, you're saying provide model essays for these. I will talk to the team and see if they have model essays for these tasks. And yes, especially for task 1, absolutely. Yes. These were very, very, very good answers. I told you your essay is absolutely stellar, with the exception of a couple of minor things. The main problem of task 1 answer is too much information and too much detail, and the length is absolutely excessive. If you reduce the length and keep to the most important aspects of the situation, then it will become much, much better.